Greetings ladies and gentlefish, and in this video hopefully I'm going to show you a few games to give you some ideas about how you can complete Light Tank Mission 15 for the Stug IV. Now, usually with these videos where I've tried to address specifically the number 15 mission on a particular tank type for the Stug, I've started off with a brief discussion of what different criteria there are for the various different missions on that branch. But as of patch 9.8, Wargaming are changing a load of them, so it seems a little bit pointless to do that at the moment. I don't exactly know what all the changes are going to be, but one of the likely changes, as far as I can see, with regard to light tank missions, is that they are making missions like this. Then they're making it so your damage can count. So, Light Tank Mission 15, for those who don't know, is to rack up 4,000 assistance damage for your team. That can be through either spotting, or that can be through tracking. After patch 9.8, I believe that you will be able to include damage you have physically done yourself into that total, but they might change what the total itself is. However, nonetheless, these three videos are all hopefully going to show you locations you can use to rack up a good amount of spotting damage. So we're starting off with Kful. He is driving his WZ-132 Chinese tier 8 light tank. He does like his Chinese tanks, which is unusual, but it's all good. I've got this machine as well. It's a lovely little machine. And he is here on Malinovka in counter game. Initially, he's come up to these bushes over here and managed to get a couple of people killed from his spotting. Basically, the two kills on the enemy team, sorry, the two deaths on the enemy team were both most likely because of K spotting. One other thing I'd like to point out, in patch 9.8, or possibly a later patch, I'm not sure, Wargaming are introducing, or planning to introduce, little tokens that pop up on the screen when you do something. So this includes a variety of different things, like it might be when you kill an enemy tank or whatever, and you'll get this, oh, K's been spotted. You get this little icon pop up at the top of the screen. Why am I mentioning this now? Well, one of them is that, oh my god, he's getting shot by all of the people. One of them is that it will show you when you are racking up assistance damage, which is something that I wish they would do for bleeding ages. Right, okay, so K just got shot an awful lot. He's now down on bugger all health. His driver is looking decidedly worse for wear. But that Conqueror is now dead, so hopefully K won't be taking any more flanking fire. He's put his driver back in, and that Object 416 doesn't seem particularly keen to come out again and play ball. Now, on a normal game, this can be a little bit risky, because generally speaking, you have more people camping at the spawns, camping at base for the regular game, and so there are more people able to put flanking fire into this kind of position. From here, however, he's been kind of clever in when he's timed his movement, because there's a couple of friendly medium tanks who are sweeping through what would be the spawn point, the enemy spawn point, if this were a standard game, and so K can be fairly confident that he shouldn't take any more flanking fire. So just poking up this ridge line, just seeing if he can rack up any more spotting damage on the enemy team. Scoreline's 5-3, so this game is far from over. IS-3 there. He has to be a little bit careful, because if he gets spotted, I mean, let's be honest, he's a light tank on no health. If he gets spotted, someone is very likely to take a pot shot at him. That shot, in my opinion, was a mistake. It was never going to go through the front of the turret on an E75, it just wasn't going to happen, and he ran the risk of getting spotted. So I wouldn't have taken that shot personally. AT-15 over there. The pair of medium tanks have found a heavy to play with, they've found the IS-3. K is moving up. Hopefully he'll be able to put some shots into the rear of this IS-3. Or at the side, that works too. Okay, no, he's not taking these shots. I do apologise, he's just spotting this guy. and sod's law, you get spotted, you take the kill shot and it bounces. Because reasons! Yay! We've all been there. We all know that it happens. The point is that IS-3 dies. Scoreline is now 10-5. The friendly team have racked up a considerable advantage toward the end of this game, bringing this game hopefully to a swift conclusion. That's probably not a penetrating shot. And the E-75 is currently king of the hill, along with some friends, but he's horrifically outnumbered by exactly 2-1. Well, the enemy team are outnumbered by 2-1. There's the Conqueror gun carriage, everyone's favourite artillery piece. K picks up the kill. Object 416. In trying to ninja out of the way of the Object 416, K, alas, gets put down by the enemy IS-7. Which is a shame, but there we go. However, K managed to rack up a very nice amount of assistance damage, and as of course you should be able to judge from the fact that it's in this video compilation, he did indeed do more than 4,000 assistance damage, and none of it was from tracks, it was all spotting. So he managed to pick up a spotting damage on the Conqueror, for instance, and a variety of other machines. So, nicely played game from K. Let's just watch it to its conclusion. I'm just curious how it finishes. I mean, frankly, these guys should hopefully just be able to storm up here and kill them. They have every advantage, numerical, they have the artillery advantage, you know. There we go. Friendly artillery nails the IS-7. That just leaves the E-75 and the frying pan of doom. For anyone who's wondering, the 416, it looks like a frying pan. And these guys are totally screwed. I'm just going to speed this up a little bit. E-75 goes down, friendly artillery nails him, and this Object 416 is having a very, very bad day. And there we go, he is dead. So, that was the first game. Now this was a tier 10 game, which makes it slightly easier to do these missions, simply because there's more health to go around. You know, if you've got a tier 5 game, or a tier 6 game, and the average health on tanks is 800, 4,000 damage, assistance damage is an awful lot. If you're in a tier 10 game where the average health on tanks is like 2,000 or something, clearly there's a lot more health to go around, a lot more damage to go around. Nonetheless, a nice way to kick things off. The second game we're going to go and take a look at was the game in which I completed Light Tank Mission 15 for the Stug. Okay, so that was a third class mastery for K, 1650 basically experience for his ×2 and 25,000 odd credits. He came second on his team, only did about 430 damage himself, but it's that spotting damage, that assistance damage that really pushed him up the pecking order on the friendly team. And there we can see 429 damage, but 4,366 assistance damage, which was a very nice result indeed, and that was on a variety of tanks, including the T-54, Conqueror gun carriage, IS-3, T-49, Object 416, and the AT-15. I was mistaken. K didn't actually pick up the assistance damage on the Conqueror, as I thought he did. He made 11,000 credits profit, despite the fact that he died, and the repair costs on Tier 8 are not particularly high, but he didn't fire much ammunition, so that kept the cost down a little bit. Yep, premium account, so that's 23,000 credits profit. A nice little game overall. So, this game is from when I was grinding through the MT25. This is a tier 9 game, so this is the worst matchmaking the MT25 will get, and let's not mince words, it's a very tier 9 game. Over half of each team are tier 9. But this kind of works in my favour because, as I mentioned before, it means there's more health to go around. More damage to go around, more assistance damage to go around. So, this is Fisherman's Bay. This is, on the one hand, it's a big open map, so you might initially expect that it would be a good map to get spotting damage on. On the other hand, it's not a map that I've ever had much success doing much spotting on. So I went and had a look at a video that a guy had put up giving a variety of different locations to use on a variety of different maps to rack up a nice amount of spotting damage, and it was with Light Tank Mission 15 in mind. So here is a bush. This is me in the bush, and I'm just going to sit here for a while. I do not have 6th sense on this crew. So some moments are going to be a little bit buttock clenching, I'm going to be honest. As I go, have I been spotted? Have I not been spotted? Oh god! Alright, so my counterpart on the enemy team, the T-37, has met his maker. There's the AMX 1390 coming up on my left hand side. He's 72 meters away, so I shouldn't have been spotted. He doesn't have a line of sight, so he should be relying on proxy spotting. How do I know he's 72 meters away? I was just hovering my cursor over his location, and then the game tells you how far away he was. Of course, if he's in a position meaning that you can't get your cursor on him, yeah, then it's back to buttock clenching time. Pucker up. Yes, as apparently it is in some military circles, the pucker factor. So, here, I'm thinking there's a good chance he's proxy spotted me, so I just wanted to move and not let people get easy shots on me. No, is he, isn't he? I don't know, screw it, I'm sitting here. Oh, clench! Have I been spotted? Haven't I? I don't know, he's really close. Well, there's a bulldog and friends going around to do something about him. The bulldog dies. No, not the bulldog. We also lose our E50. But I'm spotting the enemy E50. And no one's shot me yet. And so I'm going to therefore infer that my position is actually safe. Christ, I really wish I had 6th sense. But never mind. So, E50 has now gone into a position from where I cannot see him. WZ-131 is still over there. The AMX is probably still over there too, he's certainly not dead. And the E50 is popping his head up. Now, this sort of game you might think, well, from my perspective it'd be really nice if we had a shed ton of artillery. But we don't. There is 1 artillery per team. Now it's an M53-55, so it's a good artillery piece. But, 56, 57. Oh, whew. Ooh, that was close. He came within 7 meters of spotting me. So yeah, we do have a good artillery piece, so that does kind of play into our favour a bit. But yeah, a little bit more from my perspective would be nice, and I don't say that very often. But there we go. 5-3 reads the scoreline. Good. Now, I think the puckering up moment has kind of passed now. I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more confident. Hopefully my friends can kill that E50. I'm not going to take the shot because I do not want to give my position away, and he's dead. Excellent. And now we play the waiting game again, and the scoreline is 6-3. Now, if this is not the sort of scouting that you like, if you like to be a lot more active, then that's fine, and I do understand that, but I think you have to be a bit flexible with which sort of spotting you're going to do. It's not as if, ooh, that T-30 died. It's not as if you are a passive spotter and that works perfectly in every situation, and it's not as if you are an active spotter and that works perfectly in every situation. If you've got a well-positioned bush, why not use it? Conversely, if you have a well-positioned ridgeline that you can use to move along actively and not get shot at, why not use that too? Use whatever's available. And so as a result, you tend to find that most of my light tanks come with binocular telescopes, because that gives me the option of using a passive spotting if the situation calls for it, and now I'm just going for it because the game's almost over. There's only 4 of them left. Now, I do run the risk here, of having that happen. Yeah. I move out of cover to go and actually do something useful, possibly try and play with their artillery and tank destroyers, and the remaining enemy T-30. Were they platooned? Yes, they were. Manages to one-shot me. He has a gun that does 750 average damage. I only have, like, 600 health. So, yeah. It was a good shot. I was on the move. I was trying to turn to make it harder for tank destroyers at that location to spot me, but you could argue the MT is a little bit too fast, and instead of really turning, I did kind of more of a power slide, but never mind. T95 is pushing up the one line very slowly and ponderously. Just speed this along a little bit. There's only the Leopard prototype and the Rheinmetall Borsig left. And, you know, we've got a pretty good idea of where this guy is. He's going to be up in Tank Destroyer corner, doing his Tank Destroyer things. There he is, and he's dead. So, that was that game. In the end, we managed to rack up over 4,000 assistance damage, and I completed Light Tank Mission 15. Hurrah! It was not, however, the most exciting or spectacular game in the world, either to watch or to play, although it did involve a lot of buttock clenching, pondering whether the enemy team had gotten close enough to spot. Anyway, I completed Light Tank Mission 15, I was happy, and I've done it here in a Tier 6 machine. I have seen someone do it in a Lux Tier 4. Yeah, that's impressive. Don't expect to do it in a Tier 4, but it is possible. I've seen people do it in the Chaffee, I've seen people do it in the ELC, and this is me doing it in the MT25. So it is possible at a variety of different tiers, but easier at higher tiers, of course. So as you can see here, we didn't actually do any damage to anybody, and we just picked up a shed ton of experience by spotting people, and we also managed to complete the secondary objective for Light Tank Mission 15, and this was worth a second class mastery. 0 damage inflicted, 797 base experience. I mean, it was a very communist game. Everybody did alright, no one seemed to do spectacularly well, but there we go. 0 shots fired, 0 hits, 0 penetrations, but 4,401 assistance damage, meaning that the repair costs for the vehicle were the only expense we had. We didn't have to pay for any ammunition, giving us a profit of 21,500 credits. With a premium account, that would have been 34,500. So not a bad game overall. Not a bad game at all. Okay, here's the third and final video of this compilation. We're still at Tier 6, but we've switched nations now. We've gone from the Soviets to the French. This is the French Tier 6 light tank, the AMX-12T, and this is Mac at the driving wheel. Now, when people think of good maps on which to get a lot of spotting done, generally speaking, this is one of the first maps to come to everybody's mind. This is Prokarovka, and it's an encounter game on Prokarovka. Now, if it's encounter on Prokarovka, as I'm sure you're very aware by now, I tend to go over to the hill, use a bush location on that hill to get some spots and do some damage. Mac is going to take the more kind of pure scouty location, I guess. So this is the 1 and 2 lines, and again, I think this is going to involve a bit of passive scouting. So if you've got tank destroyer support, or if you've got support from someone on your team, and there you can see the legendary gun elevation on the AMX, then you can pick up a good amount of spotting damage on the enemies. Now, here, despite the fact that Mac is in the open, because he has, I think he has binocular telescopes on this, and because he's a light tank, he has a good camo rating. He might even have a good camo skill on his crew. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. It means that he could sit out in the relative open and spot that super purging without too much trouble. So, bush location over here. This location is somewhere to go to if you want to pick up monstrous amounts of spotting damage, and preferably you have 6th sense. And this is one of the other reasons I've tended to avoid this location, because a number of my light tank crews are, well, I'm grinding through them, so they don't yet have 6th sense, and as a result, using this location is a little bit risky. And I prefer the location you've seen me use a lot, from which it is far easier to pull back. So that super Pershing has received a right royal twonking, and is now dead. And Mac's just sitting here, without a care in the world. Well, currently without a care in the world. Just moving into a slightly different bush location. Still along this line of bushes though. And this is one of the things with this map. Along the 1 and 2 lines, what you tend to find is that you get people line up along there. One person gets brave, moves, gets spotted by a light tank in one of these bushes, obliterated by the light tank's friends, and then everyone settles down again. Now, Mac spots out this Chi-Ri, does not get spotted for his troubles, and also the Borsig, and his friendly team starts giving these guys the heave-ho. This is kind of an optimal map for racking up spotting and assistance damage. And Mac is just calling in all of the friendly fire. And the enemy Rheinmetall Borsig is an idiot. But let's not worry too much about that. So, Jagdtiger 88, ISU 152. Now, alas, the friendly team has lost their ISU 152. Obviously, he wasn't careful enough with his location. I mean, he has a competent light tank out ahead of him. He doesn't have to do anything particularly fancy. All they have to do, the tank destroyers behind Mac, is not get spotted and shoot the bad guys. They don't have to do anything fancy, but nonetheless. And there's the ISU once more. 258 meters away. Mac is absolutely fine here. Now, one problem you can come across when you're trying to go to one of these bushes is if an enemy light tank scouts the mid-ridge, sometimes they can spot you as you're trying to get into position. Which can be a little bit frustrating, but there we go. Them's the breaks. So, ISU is now on very low health. You might be tempted to pull the trigger. Don't. If you pull the trigger, you risk giving your position away, and that is a terrible, terrible idea, because then you are a spotted light tank, and you are stationary, which usually means you are soon to be a very, very dead light tank. Alas. So the ISU is dead. There's still the Jagdtiger 88 over there. So Max still has to be a little bit careful, or I should say, there's still the Jagdtiger 88 that we know of, and oh my god, that bounce. AMX 12T armor, clearly the best. Oh, and there was a shot from artillery, so Mac is now actually going to do something about this artillery. First shot misses, second shot finds its mark, and the third. And the fourth kills him. Where was that bounce? Oh, off the spare wheel at the front. Yep. Spare wheels, extra armour, totally legit. Alright, now. Damn, that was lucky. Oh well. Yeah, it's nice if you get a little bit of luck in your light tank. So, Mac has lost his ammo rack here, but as you know, he wasn't pushed for time when it came to reloading the magazine, so he didn't bother putting the ammo rack back in. You know, it's not something to be particularly bothered about. I don't know why Mac here is being quite so aggressive in poking out. The Jagdtiger 88 has a fast rate of fire. It's not as if it's an ISU where you can make him fire one shot and then you are free to unload on him for the next 15 seconds. But having said that, Mac didn't take any damage for his efforts, and he did manage to pick up the kill on the Jagdtiger and goes for a magazine reload again. Unlikely to encounter anyone particularly soon, so he's not bothering to repair the ammo rack, or at least I assume that's the logic. And it's not bad logic. I mean, you might need that repair kit for your track or something at some point. So Max picked up 2 kills, as well as a shed ton of spotting damage. But this game is far from over. There's the other enemy artillery piece. Mac takes a shot. Oh, his shot misses, but the ISU nukes him. T-44 now. And the AMX 12T, when I played it, it was quite good fun, but it wasn't exactly the fastest machine in the world. And there's the ISU 152, who misses Mac. God, I wish I'd managed to have that. And Mac's just closing the distance. This guy's spotted. He's going to be taking pain. And the enemy T-28 prototype is over at F7. Now, going straight over that embankment is a very, very risky proposition. There's a very good chance the ISU is just going to shotgun you in the face if you do. So what can Mac do now? Well, actually the guy's already dead, so never mind. What Mac could have done was either gone up the embankment at a different location and hoped or seen if the ISU was looking at him, or alternatively just tried to get close to the embankment and proxy spot the guy for artillery, as it is artillery nails the fellow. Anyway, T-28 prototype here, 235 health remaining. That should be 2 penetrating shots from this 75mm gun. Mac puts in 1, and the enemy artillery ninjas the kill, and that's the game. So, Very nice game there from Mac, and the amount of spotting damage in this game is starting to get close to the amount of spotting damage or the amount of assistance damage that you currently need for the Light Tank Mission 15 for the T-28 heavy tank concept. So this one is at the end. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, I sent in a replay where I had a lot of spotting damage and Chipmunk hasn't included it in this compilation. Well, don't worry, I know there is going to be another compilation with games showing spotting damage that would net you Light Tank Mission 15 for the T-28 heavy tank concept. So that is coming, do not fear. And there we go, 3 games showing you a variety of different maps, positions, locations, tiers, styles you can use to complete Light Tank Mission 15 for the Stug IV. I hope you find it useful, I hope you found it entertaining, and I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield, although I should probably save that comment for after having looked at the post-battle results for this game, shouldn't I? Oh well, there we go. Let's go and take a look at the post-battle results. So that was worth an ace tanker and fire for effect for Mac, picking up a good amount of experience and credits. 829 damage, 2 kills, 1278 experience, putting him top of his team on experience and easily top out of the game. 9 shots fired, 7 hits, 7 pens for the 830 odd damage. Received 2 hits, of which 1 bounced. No idea how, but there we go. Blocked 240 damage with armor, oh yeah. And racked up almost 4,800 assistance damage, so getting very close to that 5,000 assistance damage that's required for the T-28 heavy tank concept. 32,000 credit profit, with a premium account that would have been 49, basically 50,000 credits profit. If you end up getting good at scouting, doesn't matter whether you're in a light tank or not, but good at scouting, racking up a good amount of assistance damage, you can start making your game so much more profitable. So, finally I can say I hope you guys enjoyed those games, this video, maybe even found it useful or informative. If you did, please feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel. Big thanks to Kay and to Mac for submitting replays that I used in this. I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao, ciao.